I've been collecting Magic the Gathering for 15 years now, and over the past year, I've pretty much sold my entire collection.
Yep.
And I switched over to football. But where I'm kind of stumped on is if I should hold it or sell it, because they're kind of vetted players in the league, and I feel like their value would only go up. But I'm kind of confused as to what to do with it.
This is a good one. Eric back at it again with 5 viewers and 15K followers.
When I start listing these, do I just start them all at 99 cents, or just start them at a certain price, auction, or buy it now? When I'm listing all these on like eBay.
We are live for episode number 59 of the Eric Michael Show, where I talk about sports cards, business, life. You guys could call in at that phone number at the bottom over there, and I answer any of your guys' questions. And the reason I do this is to help people get into the world of making money with sports cards. While I'll let some people join here, what I'll do is I'll share my screen and kind of go over some cards I'm looking to buy, what's going on in the market. So just some things to be aware of, something that's been going through my head in the sports card world. So you have football, which is a good buy because we're in the off season right now. It's cheap. Hopefully it goes up as we get into July and August. Baseball just started. I'm staying away from baseball at the moment. Basketball is an interesting one. The basketball market's been down for 2 years or so now. So I'm a little hesitant to buy basketball, although I do like the idea of buying Victor Wembanyama because I think the Spurs are going to make some sort of splash in the offseason. So I think. But let's get this party started, and I'll share my screen while you guys join here. And so I think buying Wembanyama is not a bad idea right now. So, like, if you go on Market Movers and look at his value, so, like, if you look at his Silver Prism, PSA 10, like, it was high. It's come down. It's not come down too much because he had a pretty good season until he got hurt, obviously. But you can see it came down, 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 all the way here, up a little bit, and then back down. So it's been on like a slight downward trend over the past like 2 or 3 months, but I think there's room for his value to go up, especially his higher end card market. So I usually like to look at higher end cards first because that's usually what I buy. I usually buy the higher end stuff actually for myself. And then the lower end stuff I kind of do just to show people how to do it because that's actually what I teach people how to do. But let's take a look here. Just out of curiosity. So this is a website called Only All, if you don't know what it is. And basically it sells a lot of higher end cards and auctions them. And I like to buy cards at auctions. So you can see a lot of playoff guys are being auctioned because people wait till the playoffs to sell this stuff. Pretty smart. Donovan Mitchell, Gold Prism. That's a pretty sick card. I wonder if there's any Wemby. See, people are going to be hesitant to sell Wemby because he's down. So, like, the whole reason I want to buy him is the reason why people may not want to sell him. There's a lot of Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, because you can see people assumed Luka and LeBron were going to be in the playoffs. So, there's a lot of that stuff, but nothing crazy. Yeah, nothing crazy. Tatum, yeah, it's all playoff guys, as you can see. People aren't stupid. People are not stupid. Let's change it up and let's look at football. See if there's any decent football auctions ending. Brady, I think I looked at this the other day. Drake May, PS, it's not bad. Oh yeah, I went over this card the other day. I like it, but something tells me not to do it. I don't like buying one of one cards where everybody can see the sale. Just rubs me the wrong way. It just makes it harder to sell. Baker Mayfield, his value could go up. But yeah, I looked at some of these already. Nothing crazy. Wow, this is selling for that much. Cooper DeJean, Snakeskin Prism at 1,100. Jeez, that's crazy. I would never buy that ever, ever, ever. Let's hop over to eBay and look. I'm curious. I'm just curious if there's any like Wembanyama, any decent cards that are ending. Let's look at like minimum price $500. Let's do like min bid count 1. Let's just see. That is not what I was intending to go for. Victor Wembanyama. Let's look at ending soonest. Let's do auctions down here. Let's go to advanced. So let's do minimum 500. Let's do min bid count 1. This is only going to show me auctions, at least one bid. So it's not bad. You have this blue choice. So this isn't a bad card. Actually, there's a lot of Wemby ending. This isn't a bad one either. I actually made some decent money. I bought 2 of these. A little bit ago, or like last year, these orange prisms. Interesting. I like both of these. Let's see. Blue Ice. This is another nice one. Wow. There's actually a lot of good stuff ending of Wembanyama. Let's see, out of curiosity, I'm curious if we go to market movers. I want to see what that orange prism sells for. I bought one for like, I think it was like 8,900 or something, or $9,900. Wembenyama orange prism out of 49. BGS 9 did $13,000. Oh, that was last year. Never mind. You can see it says 2024. PSA 10 did $11,600. So last year I bought one at was it like the National Card Show. I bought it like right around here, like 9,900, I think it was, and I sold it like here. I made like 2 grand on it. Then it popped up all the way to 16, but now it's come down. Interesting. So I wonder what this will end for. I got to do some more research. This one I don't need to do as much research. Let's see. Wembenyama, blue, yellow, green, PSA 10. These sales are all over the place. I kind of want to be at the lowest sale, me personally. So this card's at $510 with 13 hours left. The lowest sale is this one right here of $942. So what I'll do is go to Easy Sniper. What this software does is it lets me just bid on auctions in the last second. And I'll bid like $947, like right at the lowest sale. I'm happy to buy that at the lowest sale. This orange, I'm going to put this orange over here so I don't forget about it. And let's see this blue ice. Wembenyama blue ice prism. Blue ice prism. What's it? Numbered to 99, right? Is it not numbered to 99? Am I going crazy? Oh, numbered to 125. Oh, I'm an idiot. You think for someone who's been in sports cards for a while would know that. So the last sale of this was 5.3K. It was at 1.8K. I like this more. So if you guys don't know, this card, the reason like an orange in the world of like Prism and basketball is so lucrative because this is one of the original colors, like blue number to 199, orange number to 49. These are like original colors of when Prism first came out. So they're much more liquid and much more desirable. So I'm probably going to bid on this. I'm probably going to bid like 10 grand. See where that takes me. That's some higher end stuff I'm looking to buy. But let's look at some lower end stuff. So Optic Football just came out as well. So Optic Football looks like this, and it's a really lucrative product. You can make really good money if you grade them correctly. Let's look at Optic 2024, and let's see. So like even stuff like this, if you 10 this stuff, you'll make really good money. I'm not gonna go for stuff that cheap, but just throwing it out there. The money is there. Let's do like minimum $75. Let's do like min bid count 1. Just see out of curiosity, what is ending? This emoji parallel. Optic Hollow. These cards you do really well with, but unfortunately they are very hard to grade because they have surface problems a lot of the time. This picture kind of sucks here. Card doesn't look that bad. I think there's some edge chipping though right here. This edge looks funny. Something looks funny. This quick corner just looks funny. I'm probably not gonna buy that to grade it. Not my cup of tea. Red. Oh, red on red. This is always a nice one. It's a little off center. That top is a little smaller than the bottom. Not terrible though. This corner's a little white. So these optic cards are gonna be hard to grade. You can see there's just a lot of issues with them. And if you guys don't know, Optic is different than like Optic Preview. So this is Optic Preview, and it comes out before Optic comes out. You could see it says Optic Preview right there. And regular Optic just came out. Regular Optic is a bit more lucrative and liquid than Optic Preview. So just if you guys don't know that. Let's see, what else do we got here? Number to 199 blue. Card is crispy. Wow. This guy knows how to take a picture. That is a nice card. Now, do I think it's a nice card because the picture's nice? Let's take a look. Let's look at Jaden Daniels. I don't know if there's going to be any comps here. Blue number to 199. Right, that's blue. Yeah, it's going to be no comps. So let me pull up another eBay tab here so I can look at recent sales on eBay. So market movers, it takes a little bit for the cards to upload, I've noticed. So blue, because the card's newer. So with the newer cards, so these cards came out about a month ago. You don't want to pay. You want to pay what they're selling for recently, not not when they first came out. Because when they first came out, they they do oversell by a lot. So this card, I'm gonna throw a bid on this card. I like this. So there's one that's sold for 320. This next sale should be less. Should be less. See if there's any damage to this one that's sold. Nah, I don't see anything. Yeah, the corners were a little messed up. Yeah, I'll bid. I mean, this is a really nice card. I'll bid right under like that sale, so like 311. So what I'm doing here, like this is the way I look at this card. So if I win this card, so like Jaden Daniels blue optic, let's say I buy this card for $300 to keep it simple. When I get this card back from grading, let's say in a month and a half, it's gonna be worth less. It's probably gonna be worth probably like 250 in a month because the product is still newer. But if this card gets a PSA 10, it'll be, I mean, it's going to sell for a pretty penny, like at least 800 plus. And if it gets a PSA 9, I'll lose. It'll probably sell for like 250 ish. So, and I probably have like, I don't know, 40% chance to grade this card a 10, which would mean there's about a 60% chance this card grades a 9. But right, if this card gets a 10, I'm making, right, I'll profit what after grading and stuff, call it like 450, right? And if it doesn't grade a 10, I'm gonna lose. What would that be? I'll lose like call it $100, right? This is a good game, right? Would you want to risk? Would you want a 40% chance to make 450 or a 60% chance to lose $100? It doesn't take a math genius to figure that out. So that's kind of how I look at this card. Obviously, like I'm making these numbers up. Like you don't know what it'll be worth in a month. Like who knows? Just based on my experience. That's a really nice card. Let's see what else we got here. Clean Caleb Williams Jazz SSP. This must be a newer type of card, I imagine. It's really nice. I don't know how these card. I don't know. I'm gonna stay away because I don't know that type of variation of card. Let's hop to the chat and see if you folks have any questions. By the way, if you guys have any questions, down there in the bottom, you could call into the phone number, and we're more than happy to answer any questions. Let's see. Brandon Gooch. For someone buying low-end cards and grading, what should we be going for? Is Prism Football QBs? And with PSA times taking so long, should we look at SGC or Beckett for grading? So PSA taking a long time shouldn't, even if they take 2 months, which I've seen it to be like 6 weeks right now, like with a lot of students, but there is like randomness. Like sometimes you don't know if it's going to take 4 weeks, 8 weeks, but it shouldn't be that big of a concern because if you're doing sports cards correctly, right, you're like buying 5 cards every single week. That's always what I recommend. And like whether it takes 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks to get back to you, once these cards start to come back to you, you just get them back and you just replenish. So at a certain point, you won't even notice how long the cards are taking to come back to you. To answer your question, Brandon, Beckett, no, I would not. SGC, you could, but you're just leaving yourself money on the table. Yeah. Caller, you're live with Eric. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Wow, I'm surprised. This is my first time calling in.
Well, welcome. What's your name?
Connor.
Connor. What's up, dude? How can I help you, Connor?
So I have a question. I've been collecting Magic the Gathering for 15 years now, and over the past year, I've pretty much sold my entire collection.
Yep.
And I switched over to football.
Okay.
As of like recently, I've just been flipping like the hot rookies. I'm not really too big into grading just because I don't really understand the whole process. But I did rip open a pack and get a Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce dual downtown.
Yeah.
And it obviously seems like it's worth to grade, but where I'm kind of stumped on is if I should hold it or sell it because they're kind of vetted players in the league, and I feel like their value would only go up. But I'm kind of confused as to what to do with it.
Yeah. What's your goal in sports cards? Is it to turn it into a side income? Is it to just have fun?
I mean, I would like to turn it into a side income. Right now, I'm just kind of like having fun with it. It's not really something that like I need to do for money at the moment, but like it's just something fun that I see the potential for.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the first card that I've dealt with that's not like a hot rookie that's out right now that's just kind of flipping. So
Yep.
I didn't know if it was like, I mean, Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce, they're who they are. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like grading it is kind of a no brainer. I should do that. But then it's a matter of like, do I hold it and wait, or should I just dump it? I don't really know how the downtowns like hold over the years.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm new to the football, so
Yeah,
it's
my advice. So if your goal is to make money and you're someone I was, teaching how to make money with sports cards, so sell it is the simple answer, because even though Kelsey and Mahomes are great players, the only things that appreciate in value a decent amount are their rookie cards. Like that card's, there's no guarantees, but it's most likely not gonna go up in value, crazily. Uh,
okay.
it's the rookie stuff. So simply, I doubt that card's gonna. Even if that card is worth like, what's that card worth? Like few $100 more, less.
Raw sold comps on eBay was like 1,000.
Okay,
PSA 10 was like 2,300 or something like that.
got it. Yeah. So I would definitely sell it. I think that card's gonna be worth less actually in the next few months, just because it's hot right now and it's a newer card. But
Okay.
I would not keep that card. And also like, even if you sell that card, let's say it gets a 10 hopefully, and you sell it for $2,000 and it's worth, 50% more next year. You could do more with that money today, by buying cards,
Right.
grading them
Yeah.
and flipping them rather than holding it for a year. And it's not going to go up 50%. Like I doubt it. So,
Okay.
yeah, my advice to you would be to sell it.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the call, and yeah, I'll just be lurking in the background.
Sounds good, Connor. Appreciate it. Good luck out
All
there.
right. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye bye. Cool. Common question. Usually veteran stuff doesn't go up with time, usually. Where were we with questions? Here we go. Matt was wondering your thought on sending in vintage cards, pre-70s football, baseball, Johnny Unitas, Lou Gehrig, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, etc. Well, it's a great idea. Those cards graded sell for a lot of money. Even graded a 1, graded a 2, they do really well. So I guess my simple answer to is yes. Like I have to see the specific card. If you wanted my advice, you could text me a picture. But yeah, my advice to be yeah, like those cards, and then not graded, those cards sell for much less because people think they're fake. So when you grade them, people know they're real and they're graded. So it's like kind of like double. Let's see what else we got here. Matt again. What would you say the dollar amount on the card to pay the extra, since PSA takes so damn long now just to get back before football season starts? So yeah, well, PSA is taking about, even if they take 2 months, you still have plenty of time before football, right? Because football starts early September, and if you sent it in now, June, July, you'll get it back. Like what I do as the season gets closer. So to show you, this is what I do. So right, there's multiple different service levels, right? There's this one, and then there's this one, and then there's this one. So like you can see, there's a substantial difference between this and this. Like as the season gets closer, like call like July, I start to only buy cards that fit into here. So, right, what I do, right, I have this thing, I call it the 2x rule. You can call it whatever you want. If you buy a card, let's say for $100 and the grading cost is $20, I at least need to net 240 as a PSA 10. So I could at least double my money. If I can't do this, then I don't buy the card, right? Because there's some cards that barely sell more than raw. Why? I don't know. It's just how it works sometimes. But that's kind of my general rule of thumb. So hopefully that makes sense. And as the season gets closer, and if you're gonna use, if your grading cost is gonna be $40, well then common sense needs to say that the cards you're buying are just naturally gonna be more expensive in order to fit in to this 2x rule to double your money. So that's kind of my what I do, and it works out pretty well. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. This is a good one. Eric back at it again with 5 viewers and 15K followers. Now there's like 41 people live right now, and it'll get up to like 80. Usually it's like 70, 80 people. Thank you, Archer. If you have a question, let me know. It's kind of funny. I have a Kobe card graded at 10 with a company no longer in business. All-Star Grading Company. Should I send this card to PSA to get it regraded? Yeah, whatever company that is. I don't know what All-Star Grading Company is, but it's just probably not worth much. Like really only Beckett, SGC, PSA, like are companies that are getting increase the value of a card when it's graded. These other random Joe Schmo companies, because people don't know who they are, right? Because I just said they're Joe Schmo companies. So like I don't know who they are, and which means probably no one probably knows who they are. Not gonna be worth much, I guess you could say. What are your thoughts on Prism retail variations such as green, neon green, orange, laser disco, blah blah blah, or for silver and numbered? Worth getting those green and orange variations? Yeah, yes. So Steven, yes, those are actually. So I could actually speak from experience. So what Steven here is talking about, so you guys know. So like a card like this, if you look at like Prism, Disco, Caleb Williams. So like these cards usually only come out of retail. So if you buy a Prism box at Target, Walmart, that's retail, that's where these variations come out of. And I could speak from experience. The reason I'm showing you this card is because actually this specific card, this orange disco, is the single most profitable card that my students have ever purchased, buying it to get them graded. And we've had like 3,000 students up to this point. So this is, you could see why. Like it's actually not that hard to grade. You could buy it for $42 and it tends 200. That's obviously really good. And if you look at Jaden Daniels, his margins are probably really good too. And these cards, they sell like hotcakes. People like them. People like cards that are colored. So yeah, you can see like buy this card for 80. A 10's 320. That's obviously really good money. So yeah, these are excellent cards. Like the best types of cards to buy, in my opinion, to grade are like those like $50 to $100 Prism cards where you're 3-4 times your money. So like to look at another example, I actually have not looked at this. Let's see, green Prism. These cards are going to be a little bit harder to grade. This is emergent. Is there a regular green Prism of Jaden Daniels? Yeah, this one. But yeah, these cards are going to be hard to grade. I don't know why, they just are. Those orange discos are easier, and the greens are harder. Yeah, look at this. I can't even find a 10. Well, there's one 10 that sold for $500, but that was or best offer. But yeah, you get the point. Like you could buy this card for $47, and a 10 does 500, but this card actually probably sold for like $400. So, and you can see a 9 did like $80, but this is actually or best offer. See, it could have been like 70 or 60, but the margins are really good. So hopefully that makes sense. But yes, to simply answer your question, yes, they're excellent, excellent cards to buy and grade. What are your thoughts on Arena Club? What do you think of their grading? Who are they comparable to? They're not really comparable to anyone. They're kind of their own company, but like, what do I think of their grading? I don't know. Let's look. I don't follow them that much. I have no idea. Arena Club, Jaden Daniels, 10. Just look and see. Let's just type in Arena Club, 10. I mean, I don't really like the way these cards look, but you could see like they just probably don't get that much respect if there's tens of like a good rookie like Sengun selling for $15. That's my first initial reaction. But yeah, to me, they're just another grading company that, like, why send it to them if you could send it to PSA? It just doesn't get the same bite. But like what I would do, like something I would love to do. So like I've done this a lot in the past, but you could do with these. What you could do with these like lower end grading companies. So the problem with these lower end grading companies, people who graded them have some sort of affinity to them, so they think their cards are actually worth more than they are. So it makes it harder to do deals with them because they think a 10 is like comparable to a PSA 10 when it's not, because they're just totally different cards. But what you could do is I've done this before. Is do like minimum price $100, bid count 1, and look for auctions that are ending. So you could see people don't really auction these cards because they're scared of what they'll sell for. But like, there's another company, HGA, right? You could buy these cards. You could find auctions that are ending, and you could just see people. Problem is, people start their auctions way too high because they're just they know it's in the back of their head it's probably not going to sell for what they want. But like what I would do is I'd buy a card like this if the condition was better, if it was an HGA 9.5, I'd buy this card, crack it out, and send it to PSA because even though the company's not as reputable, it's most likely in good condition. Or like another company you could do this with is CGC. You could do like a CGC 10 and look for auctions that are ending. It's going to be a lot of Pokemon stuff because it's pretty popular with Pokemon. What you could do is like, let's take a card let's take a random card, for example, like what's like a newer card, like this card. Like, so these cards do pretty well with Pokemon. So I don't know if there's gonna be margin between like this and a PSA 10. Let's see here. CGC. Okay. This is an interesting card. So let's take this card, for example, this CGC 10. This Spectra Gold number to 10 of Eamon Thompson. See if there's any sales. Check this out. Eamon Thompson International. That's the name of this type of card. International Spectacular, whatever. But I just want to find a comparable card, and I'll show you guys what I've done here. So let's see. So I want to find just the same variation of cards, Spectra, and there are none. That's not good. So let's do this then. Gold out of 10, International Spectra. So you could find someone that's comparable. So for example, let's take Brandon Miller. Right, this card sold for $140. And then what I'll do is I'll compare them. So like, let's do like a Silver Prism PSA 10. And let's like compare that to Eamon Thompson Silver Prism PSA 10. So you could see Eamon Thompson sells for about like 60-70% more than Brandon Miller. So what you could do, like if I bought this card, I'm pretty damn sure we get a 10. Like I could see the condition's really good. It was already graded a 10, but can I get it at a discount? So let me see what this card actually sold for. So if you go to 130 point, this will actually tell you what it sold for because this is just says 140 your best offer. You don't actually know what it sold for. So let's type in Spectra Gold International out of 10. Let's look at the highest sales. So Oscar Thompson did 105 Australian dollars. Actually, I didn't even see this sale. So check this out. Oscar Thompson did 105 Australian. Let's actually use him as an example. Let's get rid of Brandon Miller. Let's use his brother. Oscar Thompson. And you could see, okay, so this is cool. So you could see his Eamon Thompson does about little more than 2 times his brother. And we know that this card right here sold for 105 Australian dollars. So let's see what that is. So that's 67 US dollars. So be careful. Sometimes you have to look at, if it says AUD, that means Australian. So 67 US dollars. So that tells me, well, if his brother's worth like 2.5 times, right? This card should sell for like 150. And people are probably gonna be scared to buy this card because it's in China and it's a CGC 10. Like I would buy this card. So I'll even, put into Easy Sniper. Like I'll bid like up to like 150, knowing that this card will probably get a 10, and like it's kind of a risk, but because there's no 10 comps. But I could, if this card gets a PSA 10, I don't know, it could probably sell for like $300-$400. I'm kind of taking a guess, but this is what you could do with lower end grading companies where they're not as respected, so their 10s don't sell for as much. But I still know this card is in good condition because it's still a 10, right? It's not like these companies just don't look at the cards and they grade them. So hopefully that's a nice in-depth answer for you there, Jay. How do we approach buying new basketball cards to grade with a terrible rookie class? That's a good question. So it's actually something I've been thinking about. I mean, basketball is like kind of down, to be honest with you. So I mean, it's still the same premise, right? If you could buy a card, grade it, and double your money, do it. If you can't, don't do it. Whether it's Jared McCain, Dillingham, there's still a bunch of stuff out there to grade. Like if you look, like let's not kid ourselves. Like this stuff still sells for really well. So like you go here and like I'll show you what I would do, and you could, hopefully it helps. So like Prism 2024 basketball. If you go here, let's do like ending soonest. Let's just look at some random auctions just so I could kind of make my point here. All right. So like Caitlin Clark, first off, is a great buy. Stephon Castle sells for decent money, but let's see. Let me see if I can find you a good example. Nikola Topic, Victor Wembanyama. I probably wouldn't buy that. There's not a lot of I mean, you're right. There's not a lot of good stuff ending. So, like, honestly, Caitlin Clark, number one, she's great to buy. My students have made a shit ton of money buying and grading her. Sounds kind of weird saying that, but it's the truth. And Stefan Castle's not a bad buy. I actually like, you know who I like as a buy that I think could go up some in value, even though I'm not crazy, is like Jared McCain. He had a pretty good rookie year before he got injured. And you can see there's a bunch of stuff out there to actually make offers on, like if you do like minimum price $100. Like this blue prism, something like this. If you grade a 10 on this card's probably not going to grade a 10. But if you look and you look at like Jared Kane, Blue Prism. This card sells for the last one did 130. This card as a 10 is doing 450, 500 plus pretty easily. So there's still like this will have a great market still. I mean, yeah, there's less guys to buy, but I just look at what the stuff sells for and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense buying it. That's all. You guys could. It's weird. Sometimes we have a ton of callers and sometimes we don't. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to call into that number below. What do you think long term will hold better value, uptowns or downtowns? This is the first year of uptowns. Will the value hold better than future versions? Caller? Oh, that's good. I'll answer this in a second. Go for it. You have Eric. You're live.
This Eric?
Hey, what's up? You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, man? What's your name?
This is Mike from Northeast Ohio. I've called a couple times.
What's up, Mike? How can I help?
Questions. Um, so I'm starting to get some cards back from. I just sent a bunch to like SGC just to get stuff rolling and stuff.
Yep.
I sent like 60 cards, but like 40 of them came like 9.5s, but not bad, I guess.
Wait, how
Like
many? Say it
11
again.
or
How many?
10.
How many did you send in?
Like I think it was 60 that time.
Okay, and 20 got or 40 got
No,
9.5s.
yeah, and then I got like 10 or 11, 10, and then a couple and 8 and 1 7. So
Got it.
like that. But anyway, it was I sent in some Prism stuff, and
Yep.
that stuff like you said, it's hard to grade. But
Yep.
some of them I was if I was on the PSA, I was thinking they would get a 9, and I was like, if I get the extra half, maybe it would make them a little bit more valuable, or they could get a 10. Nonetheless, it didn't. But my question is, when I start listing these, do I just start them all at 99 cents and just roll with, or just start them at a certain price, auction, or buy it now when I'm listing all these
Yep.
on like eBay?
Yeah, good
What's your
question.
best?
Yeah, the best way I sell, it's a very common question. What's the best way to sell? The best way to sell, in my opinion, is card shows and social media, listing them for fair prices. Number one, you don't pay like it takes a little bit longer at the start, but you don't pay any fees, and then you build connections. Like the best thing you could ever have is 6 months into the future, or a year into the future. You have 20, 30 people you could contact, and they'll buy cards from you at a snap of your fingers. You could even sell cards a lot of the time before you get them back from grading. So that's what I do. That's how I usually don't sell anything on eBay. It's pretty far off when I do. So that's what I do. Also, I don't think auctions will do that great with SGC 9.5s. Maybe. I don't know. Do you have an example of like a specific card I could help you with? You hang up. Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. That's almost happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
Something went out. Did you hear what I just said?
I caught little pieces of it, but not all of it.
Yeah, so basically what I like to do is I like to sell cards on social media because you're able to build connections and you don't pay any fees as
Okay.
opposed to eBay. And also, I don't think SGC 9.5s will do that well on eBay, to be honest with you. But do you have like an example of a specific card I could help you with to like tell you like what I think it would sell for, what I would do with it? Like maybe like the highest end card
Um,
you have or something?
the one that I got back.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I did get a orange disco Jaden 9. But that was only a 9. Um, I have like an all that. Well, no, that's. You want a 9.5?
Yeah, sure. Give me a 9.5.
Okay, so I have Drake May. Um, I have a red press proof,
Okay.
blue press proof, and a Cooper DeJean press green. Those all got 9.5s.
Got it. Yeah, so let's see here. I'm looking this stuff up for you. Just
My Jordan
yes,
Travis has got 9.5 foot.
yeah. I'd say that ship's gone.
Yep, throw them in the garbage.
Yep. I'm right there. I only have one card, but I paid like $1,000 for it, and
Ouch.
that's a goner. Yeah, it happens. Part of the game. Yeah, like that red press proof. Um, like how much did you spend to get it graded? How much did you spend on the card?
I did the $12 special when they had it, so I'm on 12 into it.
And then how much did you pay?
Um, I don't even remember. I buy so many cards. I don't
It's
remember. I'd have to look it
probably like
up.
$8 to $10. Yeah, that's just
Yeah, I don't think it
something.
was that much.
Yeah, that's something. It'll probably sell for like $25 as a 9.5. It's just something you're probably gonna break even on. But all that stuff,
Okay.
I would like, honestly, you know what I might do? If I were you, I don't know how to do this because I've never done it, but auctions on Whatnot, you could sell really cheap cards and they'll oversell a lot. Like people will overpay for them a lot. Because if you go on eBay, you'll probably get crushed because that card will probably do like $20 after fees, and you keep doing that with all the cards, you're probably gonna lose a lot. But I would look into
Yeah.
Whatnot auctions, or if not, just selling them in bulk to people on social media to build connections.
Yeah. Okay.
I think,
Yeah, because that's why I feel like I could get crushed on eBay because
yeah,
anymore if it's not a 10, nobody wants it. Even though 9.5 is better than mint and 9 is mint still conditions, it's hard to fathom. But yeah,
yeah, and you could get like an SGC 9.5 is kind of like a PSA 9, similar.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then an SGC 9 is kind of like a PSA 8.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a matter like the next go about it. Like it sounds like you bought the right types of cards, for example. But it's just a matter of like looking at the condition of them. That's all. Because like if you sent in 60 cards and 40 of them got a 10, you'd be making a shit ton of money. So it sounds like you're buying the right type of stuff. It's just a matter of being able to assess that condition.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that was the first big order wave. I've got
Yeah.
a bunch of PSA now too, and another order coming back from SGC soon. That it's not graded yet, but it should be close. That I think I was at doing it and picking the right cards. So we'll see
Yep.
what happens with that one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Keep me updated. Do you have any other questions?
no, I think that was it for today.
Cool. Well,
So,
feel free to
but
call in
all
the
right,
future. I appreciate it.
yeah, great show, man. Great helping out and information. So
Thanks, dude.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
All
Talk to you
right, I'll
later.
talk to you.
Let's see. This is not a bad question. What are your thoughts on leaning a little bit more on local players? For example, I'm from the Chicago area. Would Matas Buzelis, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. If you want to lean on a little bit more, should I lean Castle McCain? I mean, unless you're going to local card shows, the local players will do a little bit better. I've seen it to be like a myth because like you go to these like this is my opinion on that, and some will agree or disagree. But if you go to the Dallas card show or the Chicago card show, everybody thinks they're so slick bringing like the local celebrity. Like when Luca was in Dallas, there'd be all these Luca cards, but like the supply is all the way up here because everyone has this card. Just means it just brings the demand down. I've never seen it do much, to be honest with you. Leaning in on local players, I don't think it does anything, to be honest with you. But it's a decision for yourself. You could speak to others. Maybe that's set up at card shows more, but I don't think it matters to answer your question. But are there any other questions from you guys? Thoughts? Because I do have to go. I have a crazy day. So I can't be on here that long. But I'll wrap this up at 45 or 42 minutes. If you guys have no other questions, we'll maybe be back next week. I gotta decide. Look out for I think we're gonna go ahead and do this. Saturday, 9 a.m. of the National Card Show. I believe it's August 2nd, 9 a.m. on Saturday. We're going to do our first ever live event open to the public. So, not just because we used to do live events for students, but basically what it'll be like a ticket. I don't know what the price will be, anywhere between $17 to $47. And basically, I'm just going to go on stage, live, present, and just help people make money with sports cards and break everything down step by step. Have a live Q&A, and food, drinks. Maybe there'll be like a VIP dinner at the end of the night. It'll be like 9 a.m. Saturday at the National Card Show. So you can literally learn a bunch of tactics and go out in the National Card Show and maybe execute on some of those tactics. So something we're gonna be looking to do. We're probably gonna run ads to it. So if you see an ad, feel free to click buy the ticket if you plan on going to the National, or if you live in the Chicago area, either or. But that'll be something super fun. We're going to start doing it, see how it goes. But if you have any questions, always feel free to call in. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.